Do you ever get to the end of the month, open your banking app, and feel this kind of like low grade dread? Like, where did it all go? You made money this month. You know you did. But somehow, there's not much to show for it. That feeling isn't a character flaw. It's not proof that you're bad with money. It's what happens when your dollars don't have a plan, when they just sort of drift. Today, we're going to fix that together, step by step. There's going to be no shame. There's going to be no spreadsheet overwhelm, no finance bro energy. This is Quiet Minds, Rich Lives, and I'm your host, Michael, the show where we believe that financial confidence and inner peace are opposites. They're the same destination, just approached from different angles. Today, we're talking about zero based budgeting, one of the most powerful, and I argue, most misunderstood tools in personal finance. By the time this episode ends, you'll know exactly what it is, why it works, and how to start, even if you tried budgeting before and it didn't stick. Before we get into the show, I want to talk about the why, because I think most budgeting advice skips this entirely, and it's why people fall off. Here's what I know from working with my clients. Money stress isn't just about money. A 2025 Northwestern mutual study found that 69% of Americans say that personal financial uncertainty makes them feel depressed or anxious. And the American Psychological Association has consistently found that money is the number one stressor for adults in this country. The stress doesn't stay in your bank account. It follows you to bed. It sits at the dinner table. It shows up in your body as tightness in your chest, tension headaches, that low level hum of worry that never quite turns off. Here's what I've seen over and over. When people stop guessing where the money goes, when every dollar has a clear, intentional destination, something shifts, not just in their finances, but in the nervous system. That's the promise of zero based budgeting. It's not perfection, it's not wealth overnight, it's just clarity. And clarity is the beginning of calm. Okay, so let's go over some definitions. What is zero based budgeting, or ZBB? It is a method where you assign every single dollar of your income a specific job until you reach zero. Now, I need to pause here because that word zero makes people nervous. They hear that and they think, I have to spend everything? I can't have any cushion? No, that's not what zero means. Zero doesn't mean broke, it means unallocated, meaning every dollar is spoken for, whether it's going towards rent, groceries, savings, debt, or your coffee fund. It's income minus expenses, including savings. It all equals zero. Think of it like this. Instead of your money wandering around without a purpose, you become the director. You tell each dollar where it goes before the month begins. That's the whole method. All right, here's how we actually do this. There's going to be 6 steps. I'm going to walk you through each one, and I want you to notice as we go how each step is also an act of self awareness, not just financial planning. So, step 1 is to know your net income. Before you can give money a job, you need to know exactly how much you're working with. Write down every dollar coming in this month, the take home pay, the freelance income, the side work, anything that's consistent. If your income varies, use your lowest recent month of your home baseline. Build from the floor, not from the ceiling. This step alone is clarifying. Most people have a vague sense of what we make. Writing it down, actually seeing the number, is a different kind of knowing. It's the first quiet moment. Step 2 is to list every expense, including the forgotten ones. Put up 3 months of bank statements, write down what you actually spend on, such as housing, utilities, groceries, subscriptions, debt payments, medical transportations, dining out, everything. Then add up the easy to forget categories, annual expenses like car insurance or streaming services, prorated across the months. This step is where most people have a revelation, not a crisis. It's a revelation. You see exactly where the drift has been happening. There's no judgment. It's just information. Step 3 is to know your financial goals first. Before you start allocating, write down what you're actually working towards. An emergency fund, paying off a credit card, a vacation, retirement. Get specific. Vague goals don't survive the month. When you know what you're building towards, every allocation has meaning beyond the number. This is a mindset shift. Saving isn't what's left over, it's a line item. It's allocated just like rent. Your future self gets a seat at the budget table as well. Step 4 is allocate. Essentials first, then goals, then discretionary. Start assigning amounts to each category. Sequence matters. Non negotiables essentials first, such as housing, utilities, food, minimum debt payments. Then your savings and financial goals. Then discretionary spending with what remains. Keep adjusting until your income minus all allocations equals exactly zero. And here's something I always remind clients: include a miscellaneous or life happens category. Budget for the unexpected. That buffer is what keeps you from abandoning the whole system when your car needs an oil change. Step 5. Track as you go. Mid-month check-ins. The budget you build on the first of your, the budget you build on the first is your plan, but life unfolds in real time. Set a recurring mid-month check-in, 15 minutes. That's all. Look at what you've spent versus what you've allocated. If something is over, adjust another category to compensate. This isn't failure; it's the system working as designed. Tracking is where most people quit, not because it's hard, but because they see a category they've overspent and feel shame. So let's reframe it. Every check in is an act of care towards yourself. You're paying attention, that matters. And then the last step is to reset and rebuild every month. Zero based budgeting starts fresh each month. Last month's budget is a reference, not a template. Your income, your priorities, your life circumstances, they all shift. And your budget should reflect that. Month one will feel clunky. Month two will be smoother. By month three, most people can build their budget in about 20 minutes or less. Give yourself the gift of 3 months before you judge the method. You're not just learning a tool, you're building a relationship with your money. And like any meaningful relationship, it takes a little time to find your rhythm. I want to briefly talk about the tools because the method shouldn't be harder than it needs to be. If you love a physical approach, a notebook or a printed sheet, that works beautifully. There's actually research showing that writing things down by hand increases follow through. If you prefer the digital way, like apps that align best with zero based budgeting, the best apps would be YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget, and Every Dollar. Both are built specifically around this method. They make the allocation process intuitive, the tracking nearly automatic. Plain spreadsheet also works. The tool isn't what makes the budget work, your intention does. Before we close, I want to offer you something I give every client when they start this work. 4 questions. You don't have to answer them out loud. Just sit with them. Maybe journal on them tonight. Maybe just let them live in the back of your mind this week. Either way, they do matter. Question 1 is, what does it feel like to not know where your money goes? What emotions live in that uncertainty? Question 2, if your spending could talk, what would it say about what you value? And does that align with what you actually believe you value? Question 3, what would it feel like to open your banking app at the end of each month and feel calm? What would that be worth to you? And then the last question, what has winging it with money cost you? Not just in dollars, but in sleep, in relationships, in the quiet of your own mind. Here's what I want you to take away from today. Zero based budgeting is not just about being perfect with money, it's about being intentional with it. It's about refusing to let another month pass wondering where it all went. Every dollar you give a job is a small act of self respect. Every category you fill in is you saying, I see you, money. I'm going to make you work for the life I actually want. Start this weekend. Don't wait for the first of the month. Don't wait until you feel ready. You start with the income you have, the expenses in front of you, and the goals you care most about. That's enough, and you're enough. If this episode was useful, I'd love for you to share it with one person who might need to hear it. Leave a review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. It generally helps more people find their way here. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you want someone in your corner as you build this, you know where to find me. Let's work together. Until next time, make your mind quiet and your life rich in every way that matters. Take good care of yourself.